I went on the group Dentists for Dentists, and I was sort of putting the question forward that I was interested in doing a filler course for lips because it's something that I'm really interested in, and I have a client base that really wants that. And actually Ricken was on that group, which was quite handy for me, so he put forward, you know, to friend him on Facebook and then followed the Avanti Aesthetics Academy. So that's how I sort of got in touch and saw the courses. I really liked it because it was tailor-made for lips, so you know, instead of having to sit through all the other stuff and then get to the bit that you really wanted to get to, that's what I really liked about it. It was really good, really positive. The beginning of the day we went through some theory, which was really handy because there were some questions that I had that hadn't been answered before, even though I have been on an advanced filler course. So Ricken went through some interesting and important complications that do occur after placing lip fillers, and I think that's quite an important thing that wasn't covered before. And we all need to know what complications can occur, because in this day and age of medical legal sort of issues, it's of high importance. I love the fact that the afternoon hands-on, we got a patient each, and on top of that we could observe each other really closely, and there were different cases which were approached in different ways, and you know, Ricken and his assistants were really good at guiding us into the right sort of areas and giving us their expertise. I found that the other course was a little bit rushed. There were too many things put into one day, and they weren't really that approachable afterwards for the aftercare. The great thing about this is that there is a group, and also Ricken's given us his number. We know how to contact everybody on his team if we have concerns, because obviously it's a new procedure and it's a little bit nerve-wracking. So it's always better to have somebody slightly supporting you and helping you treatment plan if you need it. And also he has given us goals to achieve, which was never done before. We were kind of taught it by somebody and then just disappeared and left to fend for ourselves. So I think support is really important in this sort of area. I don't think that any course that I attended actually covered the complications. They were just brushed over, as in it could happen, this is what you might want to use, probably in 2 lines. So I think that's not enough, because complications are important to know beforehand so that you're cautious in your approach to facial aesthetics. The advantages are that it's in London, so that's brilliant. It's on Harley Street, so it's really nice to tell your patients that I'm going to Harley Street to learn how to do lips, because that kind of boosts the whole thing to them anyway, because they think, oh, Harley Street's like the hub of all kinds of aesthetic body stuff. And it's always nice to come and spend the evening there. And the actual premises is really good. It's state of the art, and also it had all the stuff that we needed to do the procedures, so that's probably the main things. The pre-course material was really good. It was comprehensive. It covered a lot of the theory before we came down, so that it wasn't all news to us, and it was given in a timely fashion, so we had it quite a few months before we were coming down, and then resent again more recently, so that we didn't forget all about it, because you could do. It was relatively easy. In the beginning, slightly nerve-wracking because the cannula actually looks quite long, but because we made an entry point and Ricken showed us exactly how to do that and how to approach it, it actually was relatively easier than using the needle. The needle technique can be a little bit more traumatic, and it causes more bleeding. So it's handy to know those 2 techniques, but I think both were fairly easy after having spent the day sort of observing and doing them ourselves. It can be advantageous because obviously the cannula technique is taking over now, and the rest, I think we were told there's less risks involved with using the cannula, so I think that if that was the only technique that was taught, it may be suitable. However, there were some situations where injections were more suitable. Definitely. It was something that was a bit of an enigma, but I think Ricken went through exactly what his protocol was. He did reiterate it's not something that is advised for every single person, but he made us aware that in our emergency kits what we were supposed to have and how much of it and how exactly to dilute it. And he did say that if we did have any questions regarding it, it would be on the group page as well. I met Ricken, which was great because I'd always followed him on the thing, so I just thought it'd be good to meet him and get his valuable experience. Met lots of really nice colleagues, younger and older, who've been doing facial aesthetics, and also all the people helping with the course were really helpful, and it's a really good contact to have because if there's other courses that will be in facial aesthetics, I'd know where to come if I needed to look up any of these procedures.